Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to week 3 of Radical Self-Love and Personal Healing. So today we're going to be talking about shame. We're going to be talking about taming the shame that keeps us small, and this is going to be a place to begin. Okay, just like with everything else, this work that we're doing is a journey. Okay, Brene Brown talks about this work as a spiritual practice, right? This is something that we do on an ongoing basis. This is not a one and done type of a thing, but what I'm trying to give you here with this entire 6-week series is an understanding of, again, connecting some of the dots between our thoughts and our emotions, right? How these emotions that keep us so stuck in our lives and that keep us in so much pain, where do they really come from, and how can we begin to kind of get a handle on that? And and then also, what does it look like to heal from some of these things? And some of the work that we do is really cognitive, right? So some of this, the mindset stuff that we've been talking about, and really understanding how our thoughts create our emotion. And that all happens in the limbic system, the part of the brain where language and emotion are connected, and all this kind of stuff, belief and identity. There's all this neurobiology behind it, which we're not going to talk a lot about, but it's powerful to begin to see that. And some of you are a lot more intellectual and kind of cognitive, and so you like that, that way of looking at things. But it's important to understand too that so much of this is really spiritual and emotional. And when we were children, when we were just even little itty bitty babies, we felt emotion and we were influenced by emotion, right? As children, if there's fighting happening in the room, they feel that energy, right? And they don't understand the words cognitively that are being said, but they feel that energy and they'll start to cry and they feel unsafe. And so things like insecurity, things like unworthiness, right? A baby that's left to cry for a long time and is not responded to in a very neglectful home, from infancy, these things begin to get seeded into our nervous system, into our brain, and into our spiritual belief system and our spirituality. And so there's just so many layers to this work. And so I want you to understand that, okay? And so there are going to be some times that we're going to try and drop down out of our head. As much as I love the mindset work and understanding how our thoughts create our feelings and analyzing things and seeing it that way, there's something to be said for just breathing and for feeling those feelings inside your body, right? There's a reason that people do energy work and healing, and they talk about the chakras and blocks and all this kind of stuff that sounds really woo-woo to a lot of people. But there is something to it because there's a place in our brain and our nervous system that connects with all of those things in our body. So we're going to talk today about one of these emotions, and that's going to be shame, right? Shame is one of the most unsettling emotions that we can feel or experience. And again, it begins to be seated in our system from a very young age. It's an emotion that it communicates to the deepest part of our core that there is something bad or wrong or otherwise unacceptable or deficient about who we are as our very essence, right? That I am not worth it. I am unworthy, right? I am bad. I am wrong. I am deficient. I am defective. I am broken. I am unwanted, right? So it's often tied to a sense of unworthiness, of deep regret or guilt somehow. And shame is one of the ugliest feelings. It makes us feel small. It makes us feel weak, ugly, unwanted. And the worst part about when we believe that who we are, that we as a person are shameful, then we begin to act in shameful ways, right? Because that pain is so heavy to carry. We have to offload it onto other people. And so all of these personas, all of these destructive personalities start to come out as a way of dealing with that. So sometimes that's bullying or cruelty, but also sometimes it's overachievement, it's people pleasing. There's all these ways that we seek validation, right, from external people to make us feel more accepted, more connected, more wanted, and to ease that feeling of shame. And oftentimes we also turn to coping mechanisms like drinking, drugs, alcohol, sex, food, YouTube, right? Overworking, and all these ways of hiding, avoiding, numbing our emotional pain because it's just too great. And so this feeling of shame can really have toxic, very deeply damaging impacts on our lives, on our sex lives, on our finances, on our parenting, just that even that relationship we have with ourselves, right? And so it's worth taking the time, as all of you are doing, to take a look at this. Okay, so this section is going to be a little bit of a longer one, and I just want to encourage you to take some time, get a cup of tea, sit down. I hope you listened to the first part of this video where we talked about self-care and really nurturing yourself, drinking lots of water, getting good sleep, because this work that we're about to do over the next couple weeks, we're going to kind of dig in a little bit to some of the ugly parts, okay? And that requires you to be committed to that idea of self-love, right? Be committed to that idea of, okay, Robin, we're going to look at some of our ugliness, some of the hurt, some of the pain, some of the stuff that we haven't been wanting to feel. Take a breath. We can do this. I love you. I've got you. And just holding that space for yourself to go through this experience in a compassionate way. Okay.